It started as a simple interview, another promotional stop for Sam Heughan, another polished conversation about Outlander and his latest projects. The host expected charm, professionalism, maybe a laugh or two. What he didn't expect was a moment of raw honesty that would set the internet on fire. The question came midway through, gentle but pointed. "Sam, fans have always talked about your chemistry with Caitriona Balfe. After all these years, how do you describe what you two share?" For a second, Sam smiled the way he always does, warm, composed, with that familiar spark that makes every fan melt. But then something shifted. His expression softened, his eyes flickered downward, and for once, he didn't deflect. "You know," he began slowly, "my feelings for Caitríona are real, but complicated." The room went completely silent. The host blinked, stunned. The crew exchanged quick glances. Sam let out a quiet laugh, as if trying to downplay the weight of what he'd just said. But the emotion in his voice betrayed him. It wasn't a rehearsed answer. It was a confession. Within minutes, the clip hit the internet. Fans lost their minds. "Did he really say feelings?" one tweet screamed. "What does complicated even mean?" wrote another. The video racked up millions of views in hours. Headlines flooded entertainment sites. Sam Heughan finally admits his true feelings for Caitríona Balfe. The confession that shook the Outlander fandom. But to understand why those words hit so hard, you have to go back to the very beginning. When Outlander first premiered, Sam and Caitríona were two actors stepping into roles that would define them. From the very first screen test, their connection was undeniable. Even casting directors described it as lightning in a bottle. The moment they looked at each other, the air changed. It wasn't acting, it was instinct. Two people locking into a rhythm that felt like destiny. As the seasons went on, their bond deepened. They spent long days together on set, sharing everything from laughter to exhaustion to the emotional weight of the story they carried. Fans saw it immediately. The way he looked at her when she wasn't speaking. The way she rested her hand on his arm without thinking. It was chemistry that felt too effortless to be just performance. The rumors started early, of course. Every interview, every red carpet, every behind-the-scenes photo became evidence for fans convinced their on-screen love had spilled into reality. Yet both Sam and Caitríona denied it, always with affection, never frustration. "We're best friends," Caitríona would say, smiling. "That's the magic." But best friends don't always look at each other like that. And best friends don't always make each other tear up when the cameras aren't rolling. Over the years, Sam handled it all with grace. He joked about being single, about dating in the public eye, but his tone always carried a hint of longing. "It's hard," he once admitted. "People think they know everything about you, but there are parts of your life you keep to yourself, because they matter too much to share." When Caitríona married in 2019, fans felt the ground shift. Sam congratulated her publicly, smiling brightly as always. But those who knew him said something in him changed after that. He became quieter, more introspective. In interviews, when her name came up, his smile still came easily, but it carried something else now. Something heavier. So when he finally said, "My feelings for Caitríona are real, but complicated," it felt like years of silence finally cracking open. He didn't need to explain what real meant, everyone already knew. The chemistry, the trust, the unspoken understanding, it was all there, written across a decade of shared history. The word complicated was what broke people's hearts. Because that single word carried everything they couldn't have: the missed timing, the boundaries they respected, the worlds that pulled them in different directions. It was love, but it was love that had learned how to behave. As one fan perfectly wrote beneath the viral clip, he didn't confess a romance, he confessed a truth. Back in the studio, the host gently tried to move on, but Sam wasn't quite done. He gave a small smile, his voice dropping softer. "You spend 10 years sharing a story like that with someone," he said, "and it changes you. You can't fake that kind of connection." He paused, then looked straight into the camera. "It's real," he repeated. "It always has been." The world collectively stopped breathing. Within hours, social media exploded again. Edits flooded TikTok. Fan pages posted side-by-side photos of Sam and Caitriona through the years, from their first press event to their last on-set hug. The captions were all the same: real, but complicated. And somewhere between the headlines and the heartbreak, fans began asking the only question that really mattered. If the feelings were real, what exactly made them so complicated? When the interview clip went viral, the internet seemed to divide in two. Half the fandom was speechless, replaying his words in disbelief. The other half was convinced this was the moment they had been waiting for, the unspoken truth finally slipping through the cracks. "He said real," one fan wrote. "He actually said it out loud." By the next morning, major outlets were quoting every syllable of Sam's confession. Talk shows debated it, blogs wrote essays about it, and every entertainment podcast had the same headline: Sam Heughan admits real feelings for Caitriona Balfe. But the question that consumed everyone was, how would Caitriona respond? For 2 days, she said nothing. Her social media remained silent: no tweets, no likes, no posts. That silence only fueled the frenzy. Fans speculated wildly. Was she upset? Was she touched? Was she avoiding him? Then, on the third day, she broke her silence in the most Caitriona way possible, quietly, gracefully, without a single word of drama. She posted a photo on Instagram, a candid behind-the-scenes shot of her and Sam laughing between takes. The caption read only 3 words: always the truth. That was all it took. The world erupted again. Comments poured in from fans around the world. Always the truth, she's confirming it. She's telling him she knows. This is the softest love letter I've ever seen. Whether or not she meant it romantically didn't matter. It was intimate, it was personal, and it was enough to make everyone believe that Sam's real but complicated feelings weren't one-sided. Behind closed doors, sources from the Outlander team revealed that Sam and Caitriona had spoken privately after the interview. "They know how the internet works," one crew member said. "They didn't want it to turn into something ugly. They have too much respect for each other." According to that insider, their conversation was emotional but honest, the kind of talk you have with someone who knows your soul better than anyone else. A few days later, during a charity livestream, Sam was asked again about his viral confession. He smiled knowingly, the corners of his eyes crinkling. "Ah, yes," he said softly, "I got myself in a bit of trouble, didn't I?" The chat filled instantly with heart emojis. He took a breath, then continued, "Look, Caitriona means the world to me. What we have is rare. It's not something I can put into neat little boxes. I'm proud of her, I admire her, and, yes, it's complicated. But that's life, isn't it?" The sincerity in his tone silenced even the skeptics. It wasn't a PR move. It wasn't gossip. It was human, and that's what made it so powerful. Soon after, Caitriona gave her own interview for a film project. Of course, the host couldn't resist asking about Sam's comments. She smiled, eyes glinting with affection. "Sam's heart is enormous," she said. "He speaks with emotion, and I think that's why people love him. We've shared a journey that few people will ever understand. Whatever he feels, I understand it too, in my own way." It was a masterclass in grace, but to fans, her words said everything. Whatever he feels, I understand it too. That single line hit the fandom like lightning. The idea that two people could share something so deep, yet still live parallel lives, became the heartbeat of the conversation. As the days passed, the buzz evolved from speculation to admiration. People began writing think pieces about their connection, calling it the rarest kind of love, built on loyalty, not possession. Even longtime industry critics admitted that what Sam and Caitriona shared transcended the typical Hollywood dynamic. Weeks later, during a fan convention, they finally appeared together again. The anticipation was electric. When they walked on stage, the crowd roared like thunder. Sam looked a little nervous. Caitriona, composed as ever. She leaned toward the microphone first and said playfully, "So, I hear there's been a lot of feelings lately?" The audience exploded with laughter. Sam buried his face in his hands. laughing too. When the laughter died down, he looked at her with that same warmth that fans knew too well. "I said it because it's true," he murmured just loud enough for the mic to catch. Caitríona smiled softly, eyes shining. "And I said it's always the truth," she replied. That exchange lasted barely 10 seconds, but it became one of the most replayed fan clips of the year. The way he looked at her, the way she smiled back, it was everything people loved about them distilled into a single moment. No one ever pushed them for more after that. They didn't need to. The truth was already there, living quietly in the space between their words. As one journalist wrote afterward, Sam and Caitríona didn't confirm a romance. They confirmed something deeper. That connection doesn't always need definition to be real. And maybe that's what Sam meant when he said his feelings were real but complicated. Because sometimes love doesn't ask for clarity. It just exists, quietly, faithfully, endlessly, in the eyes of two people who have already said everything without saying anything at all.